Hey guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Mitchell and today we're taking a look at the new tier 6 Polish premium tank, the Pudel, played by Mike 3 in encounter mode and on Sand River. Now before we actually dive into the gameplay, let's take a brief gander of how the Pudel came to be. This is Poland. Poland was invaded in World War II. Inside of Poland is Warsaw. The people of Warsaw did not like the Nazis. An underground military group led an attack on the Nazis. During this uprising, they captured 5 tanks, 3 Panthers, 1 Tiger, and 1 Hetzer. One of these Panthers was the Pudel. The uprising lasted for about 2 months. The Polish casualties were about 16,000 dead and 6,000 wounded, and roughly about 175,000 dead civilians. The German casualties were about 8,000 dead and 9,000 wounded. It was a German victory. That being said, the Pudel was put to good use for about the 9 days that it was in service. Now getting back to the gameplay, we see that Mike is actually in a really good matchup. He is top tier in the 3-5-7 matchmaking template, and there are no heavy tanks on the enemy team, meaning Mike is going to have a major role to play in this upcoming battle. Now Mike is actually using the initial scouts of his team to position himself in the inside meander of the river so he can stay in a hold down position and wail into the enemy team with that 3.3 dispersion that the Pudel gets. That can be easily knocked down to 3.1 dispersion with vents and a good crew. But what are we to expect when this is the exact same thing as the German tier 6 medium, the VK3002M? The only difference being that the Pudel actually has a little more side armor due to actually having the actual body of the Panther, making this tank the best true Panther in the game. Now as the battle develops on the ridge up there, Mike actually pulls back into a more hold down position that allows him to use the 8 degrees of gun depression and the good turret armor that this tank gets of 100mm in the front and 45mm in the side. That being said, the only differences between the VK3002M and the Pudel is that the Pudel has 10 more millimeters of armor on the side, making it 50 instead of 40. Its track armor is 5mm thicker, making it 25 instead of 20. Its power to weight ratio is 15.82 instead of 16.65. Its traverse speeds on hard is 29.72 instead of 34.06, on medium 24.77 instead of 28.39, and on soft is 12.92 instead of 14.81. Meaning that when you buy the Pudel, you actually sacrifice some mobility just for a little bit more side armor. Now getting back to Mike, we see that his team is no longer doing so hot. The scores are 5-7. He's been pushed off his little ridge and he's actually moving forward because his team is actually doing worse. So he's actually trying to be more aggressive and trying to actually help his team by getting more kills. This is not what a lot of people do, but this is pretty much the right thing to do. He's not being overly aggressive, but he's trying to get spots on tanks using his good view range because he actually has a very decent crew to get spots on tanks like this tier 4 Swedish TD, allowing him to even out the scores a little bit. But on all, his team are still in a very bad position. Over there at the base, the enemy team is kind of cleaning up, and a lot of his teammates are also in the cap circle, so the enemy team knows where a lot of them are. So this is where Mike really needs to start pulling his weight. He actually puts a shot into the Hetzer, and he looks at the mini-map and he sees that there is a T-3485M to his left, and there was a Pudel behind him. So he actually starts putting shot into the Pudel because the Pudel at the moment is a bigger threat because they're threatening his team. Then he sees that the T-3485M is actually about to rush him, so he actually tries his best to avoid it, but he really can't, so he uses the DPM of the Pudel to shut down the T-3485M. After that little knife fight, Mike actually is trying to gather his senses and sees that there are no longer enemies near his base, so his focus is actually towards the enemy base now. Now he's poking the ridge a little bit, seeing the TDs that are actually kind of wailing into his teammates that are currently on the cap, and leaving the Hetzer on very low health and leaving the Stug on half health. Now seeing that Mike can no longer shoot those TDs, he's going to reposition himself into the position that he can. But along the way, he actually finds the Matilda 4. So he actually stops to take some shots, but then he realizes that the Matilda has actually spotted him, so he takes one shot, scoots back, ricochets a shot, then sees that the Stug 3 is actually in the ravine now. So Mike pauses it for a little bit, he gets hit by Artie, and now he realizes he needs to stay hold down, and he starts shooting at the Stug 3. Now the Stug 3 having really good gun mantle armor, Mike is actually having a difficult time penetrating the Stug, but now he's actually having success because he's no longer shooting directly at the gun. Now he was just hit by Artie, he was ammo racked, he used a repair kit, and now he's pulling back to regroup with his own teammate, the T-40, which is actually still near the base, but the best thing to do in this situation is to regroup so you have more guns shooting at the same tank at once. Now as he's pulling back, the T-40, when he gets on that ledge, he's actually going to spot the Matilda 4 and get a shot in it or so. Now the T-40 does take the shot, but now he's pulling back so he can avoid being shot by the Matilda 4, but he was too slow. But that one shot allows Mike to actually one-shot the rest of that Matilda 4. Now Mike was spotted again, and now he's being focused by Artie once more, so he needs to move around in an unpredicted manner so he would no longer be shot by Artie. Now he's actually moving back into the other position where the Hetzer near where the Hetzer was last seen, so he can actually form a plan of what he needs to do next. Now if he doesn't spot the Hetzer while he's there, his next course of action would be to go kill the Artie, because the Artie is right now a really big threat because he's a potential one-shot. But as he is moving up to the position, he actually spots the Hetzer and moves back because now Mike knows he's spotted once more, so Artie is going to be shooting at him once again, and there it is. But he sees that the Artie was not aiming in the right spot, so Mike is going to go push back up that hill and see if he can deal with this Hetzer. Now Mike needs to be really careful in this situation because he's also a one-shot for the Hetzer if the Hetzer is using the 105mm gun. But I don't think the Hetzer is using the 105mm gun, I think it's using the 75mm gun. But Mike realizes this is not a smart situation to be in, so he's actually going to go straight for the artillery. Now he just took another shot from the Sturmpanzer II, really leaving him on a one-shot capability of actually for all the tanks that are on the enemy team. And right here we actually get a good grasp of how fast this tank is on just a straight line. The top speed is being 55 kilometers per hour. Mike is actually getting behind both Arties so he can actually take out the Artie threat, then handle the Hetzer threat. But as he's moving across, he sees that the M41 HMC was in that little crevice, and so he completely ignores it because he knows that that cannot get a shot on him. So he focuses on the Sturmpanzer II, which prematurely fired, and takes it out. Now his next objective is to take out the M41 HMC before the Hetzer gets over here. Now the Hetzer is not really that fast of a tank, so he has a fair amount of time to deal with this. So he hangs back, he's aiming, and now the HMC is moving back, and he aims again and takes out the HMC. Now the only thing Mike needs to do left is just kill the Hetzer. And we have a general idea of where the Hetzer was last seen, and I'm thinking that the Hetzer was aiming this direction to actually get the first shot off of Mike. But Mike is smart, he uses the bushes, he spots the Hetzer, and he takes him out for the win. Now this was a whopping game for Mike, as we see that he earned his ace tanker, he got a Pascucci's medal, a Pudel medal, a high caliber, and a tank sniper. He has actually dealt damage. Well, he actually had direct interaction with 13 enemy tanks, and the amount of experience I received just for this one game was 13,605. We see that his base experience was 1711, and the total amount of damage was 3,274. Now the credits that he received were 71,715 due to this tank being premium, but we also will notice he did not fire any premium shots, allowing that great profit.